your financial advisor is probably ripping you off. I'll show you how much you're paying in fees without realizing it and how these advisors will cost you an extra 6 to 7 figures out of your pocket during your investment lifetime. This is not an exaggeration. I'll tell you what you should do instead of having your money with these expensive financial advisors. You don't need them. My name is Rich Carey from the Rich on Money podcast, and this is episode 13. I'm a personal finance and real estate expert, and I cut through the BS and the hype. Let's get into the extremely high fees that these investment advisors charge. I'm not exaggerating this stuff. This info comes from their own websites. These high fees are common among investment advisors like Wells Fargo Advisors, Edward Jones, Merrill Lynch, and UBS, to name a few, but you could also certainly run into them with these smaller boutique firms. I recently made a video about Dave Ramsey's SmartVestor Pro program, pointing up here, that has roughly the same fees we are talking about today. These high fee investment advisors, which are often full service brokerages, will put money you are saving for retirement into mutual funds. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I recommend. Think of mutual funds as packages of different stocks you can buy instead of buying each stock individually. While mutual funds can usually be purchased with little to no fees, the more questionable advisors tend to work with mutual fund companies that charge unusually high fees. While they will tell you these fees are necessary for buying the best funds, they are not. Often virtually identical to funds that can be purchased from other investment firms for zero or close to zero in fees. This is important to understand as you are looking for people to invest your money. Are they pushing you towards products with higher fees and commissions? They may be. It may be their whole business model, and it's not in your best interest. Speaking of fees, let's get started. The most egregious, that means shittiest and craziest fees that you'll see is something called a front-end load. Yeah, I know it's kind of a weird name. With a front-end load fee, you are charged a certain percentage of the investment, commonly as high as 5.75%, every time you purchase this mutual fund. In this example, the 5.75% amount comes off Dave Ramsey's website, but it's common with all the other companies I mentioned earlier. This fee gets charged every time you buy into a mutual fund. So if you invest monthly in your IRA or 401k, you'll pay every month. That means the second you buy this mutual fund every month, you're already down at least 5.75%. Unfortunately, there are also more fees we'll be talking about today, and here's the next one. There's something called a assets under management fee, sometimes abbreviated AUM. With Dave Ramsey's SmartVestor Pro program, he uses 1% as an example of what to expect. At Edward Jones, it starts at 1.35%. But with Wells Fargo Advisors and some others, it can be high as 2 to 2.5% of your current assets with them. Think of this as the fee you pay for them to manage your money for you. They make decisions about what to buy and sell and when. They're taking their best guess as to what asset classes would do well at what time and hopefully be right about when stocks are about to rise or fall a lot and make those little adjustments for you. I personally feel like a fee over 1% for investing your money is pretty excessive, but what makes it worse is it's on top of the 5.75% front-end load we already talked about. And there are even more fees on top of that. With a 2% assets under management charge, that means that to manage $100,000 for you, they would charge you $2,000 a year. Doesn't sound that bad, but we'll find out later how it adds up over time, especially knowing you paid $5,750 as a front-end load on the mutual fund when you bought it. Let's keep going because there are more fees. Expense ratios. This is a percentage of the mutual fund's assets that are deducted annually to cover the fund's operating expenses. The kind of funds that I invest all my assets in have expense ratios that are almost zero. An example would be Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund, VTSAX, with an expense ratio of 0.04%, low enough to be not worth even calculating. But when you're talking about the kind of mutual funds that we are talking about today, companies that are dreaming of ways to extract money from their investors, then these can get much higher. You may see fees ranging from 0.5 up to even 1%. This would be considered extremely high to me, but a salesman at one of these high fee investment advisor companies may explain this mutual fund is worth it because of its past performance and its future potential. And this is not true. I guarantee that identical funds exist at other brokerages and other mutual fund families that do the exact same thing for a lower fee and no front-end load. By the way, an investment in a Vanguard mutual fund will never have a front-end load. Now I have 2 more important things to tell you. 1, I'll share how much money you throw away by paying these high fees over an investment lifetime. And then number two, I'll explain what you should do instead. How much less money will you make over a lifetime of investing because of fees like this? It's way the fuck more than you think. Paying someone 1% to manage your money shouldn't be a big difference, right? Well, it does if that person pushes you to these 5.75 front-end loads and these ones with higher operating expenses. So let me give you a scenario to illustrate how much money you'll lose. In this scenario, you start investing at 25 years old. You invest $1,000 a month. Your investment makes 8% a year on average. This is historically what the stock market has done over the last 50 years, but you will pay fees. 5.75% front-end load every month when you invest, a 1% assets under management fee for all the money in your account that they invest for you, and 0.5% for the operating expenses of your mutual fund. I used fncalculator.com to calculate this. I'll round the numbers a little to make this easier to digest. If you invest like this for 30 years, starting at 25 years old until 55 years old, $1,000 a month, you'll make about, drumroll please, $1.3 million. That's not bad. But what about the fees? The effect of the fees on this $1.3 million is a lot more than you expect. It is $400,000 less, or $900,000 instead of $1.3 million. Essentially, it's a reduction in value of 31% of your retirement fund. What the fuck? What if you invest for 40 years instead, age 25 to age 65? Your total balance without any fees would have been $3 million. That's respectable at 65. But you lost an entire $1 million to fees. That's 35% of your nest egg. Gone to fees, a 7-figure loss. I told you this was for real. Ouch. No wonder being an investment advisor is so damn lucrative. But why do fees have such a large effect? I thought it was just 1% to manage this stuff. It's because the money you pay in fees, and especially that damn front-end load of 5.75% early on, doesn't have the opportunity to grow and compound over 30 or 40 years. Every percent can really matter. But how can you not pay these fees? Won't you make a lot less money if you don't have a professional investor helping you? Well, you may be surprised to learn that you will likely make more money if you don't pay an investment advisor. Let me explain. People often judge how good their investment advisors do by comparing their returns to the returns of the stock market in general. Another way of saying this is they compare it to the returns generated by the S&P 500 index, which is an index that follows the largest 500 publicly traded companies on the stock exchange. Over the past 70 years, this index has made about 8% per year on average. And investment advisors often compare the returns of their own funds or their own investments to that of the S&P 500 index over the same time frames to see if they're outperforming the market. Now, you need to understand this. If you gave a monkey $100,000 and you put it in the S&P 500 index for him, and he held it for 30 years, he's extremely likely to make roughly 8% a year on average. So that'd be that 1.3 million with no work. You don't have to buy or sell or make changes or think or worry about interest rates or elections or pandemics. You don't have to read the Wall Street Journal and worry about bear markets. It just sits there and makes money with no work. Compare that to investment advisors. Investment advisors go to colleges, the best colleges in the world, Harvard, Yale, Wharton School of Business, where Trump went, and their only job is to make more money than the market does on average for themselves and their clients. How often are they successful with this? How often do they beat the market? They're successful about 6% of the time. 6% of investment advisors or money managers outperform the market over 30-year timeframes. Even a 20-year timeframe is only 8%. So that means 94% of investment advisors and money managers underperform the S&P 500 index. They can't beat the portfolio that we gave to a monkey. So not only are you making way less money because of these high fees, but 94% of the time, you also make way less because you could have just stuck your money in the S&P 500 index and never touched it for 20 or 30 or 40 years and outperformed your own managers. Keep in mind, that would require no fees, none. The expense ratio for index funds with Fidelity Investments, Charles Schwab, or Vanguard is really something around 0.04%, really no effect on your returns. Do you understand what I'm telling you here? Using a money manager, using an investment advisor is stupid for two very important reasons. You'll likely make a lot more just putting your money in the S&P 500 index and letting it sit there, just like the monkey did. This method is recommended by Warren Buffett, the best investor in the world. If your investment advisor somehow does better than the market on average, which is unlikely, 30 to 35% of your nest egg will still get eaten up by his or her fees. So there you have it. Fees suck. Investment advisors suck, especially ones where you pay a front end load and absurdly high fees. Do it yourself and make way, way more money. Investing is simple, but it's not easy. This is Rich Terry from Rich on Money, spitting out some wisdom and signing off.